Yo, what's going on? So there are some small things that you can do in the game that not everyone knows about, and they won't change the whole way that you play RuneScape, but they may be nice little tweaks to improve your day-to-day quality of life while playing. I'm sure most of you will know one or more of the things on this list, but my goal is that you learn at least one new thing today. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Here are 5 quality of life tips in Old School RuneScape. And the first tip I want to go over today is that your house will load faster by doing 2 things. 1, having less rooms in your house, and 2, having less floors in your house. I understand that you want to put a lot of time and money into your house to show it off to your friends and have house parties with them, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're going to be doing something that involves a lot of house teleporting, such as camping Corp, or doing Zora, or even just training Slayer over the course of days, the extra few seconds to render your house every single time will add up. I understand that there are a lot of rooms that you need to make your house efficient, however, a basement and an upper floor aren't really necessary, and just by getting rid of those, you can improve the render speed of your house even if you still have a lot of rooms on that one floor. So now let's take a look and compare the speed of rendering a house with a lot of rooms and multiple floors to the render speed of a house with only a couple rooms. By the way, while I was editing this next clip, I watched the frame by frame exactly and made sure they started loading at the same time, and the house with only 2 rooms, besides obviously being faster to load, also brought up the rendering screen 3 frames faster than the bigger house. But yeah, so it's under 1 second of a difference, which really isn't that big of a deal, but over the course of time it can really add up, plus no one wants to stare at their dark computer screen longer than they need to. But let's move on to the second tip now, which is a couple tips in one which are related to farming. When farming, you get herbs and fruit and stuff, and it can be annoying with how much inventory space they take up. Well, you can actually use anything that you harvest on the tool leprechaun, who will automatically note them for you. This way you can do your whole farm run and not have to make extra bank trips if you start running out of room. And then part 2 of this tip is that you can bring your payment in noted form to give to the farmer to watch your crops, so it doesn't have to take up your whole inventory. The next tip is about pets. So sometimes when you're skilling or just playing the game, it can be fun to show off your pet if you have one, but it can be annoying if you're moving around a lot or trying to train a skill and you keep accidentally clicking on your pet and its options get in the way of whatever it is that you're trying to do. Well, there's actually an option to make your pet's options right-click only, so that way you'll never interact with your pet unless you purposely try to do so. All you have to do is go to the options menu, click on the joystick, and out of the 6 options that you're given, click on the top right one to hide your pet's options. Something else I want to say about pets that some people may not realize is that if it's not your pet, then you won't see any options for it. So while the pet may visually get in the way of other people skilling, they can still left or right click and they will never see any options for your pet. And one last thing I want to say about pets is if you somehow can't find your pet and you want to call it over to you, you can go to your equipment menu, click on the whistle in the bottom right corner, and your pet will instantly appear next to you. Tip number 4 is a toggleable option from the Lumberjage tutors that you may find very useful. If you talk to the range tutor, you can ask her to toggle your ammo pickup. And by doing this, it makes it so that if any arrows you pick up match the arrows in your ammo slot, it'll automatically be added there even if your inventory is full. And it works the same way with the magic tutor. You can toggle it so that runes will automatically be added to your rune pouch when you pick them up if they match any that are already in there. Now, the 5th and final tip for today involves the GE. And this is something quick and simple that a couple people pointed out in one of my videos that they never knew that this was possible, so I thought I would throw it on this list. When you go to the GE to sell an item, some people normally click on the sell item button on the GE and then select the item that they want to sell, but you don't have to do that. Instead, you can right away click on the item in your inventory that you want to sell, and by default the GE will instantly start a sell offer for you. And one final tip with the GE is when you buy an item and it comes through, most people just left click on the item to take it out as a noted stack from the GE. However, if you right click on your purchased item, you'll see that there's actually 3 options: collect notes, collect items, and bank. The reason why it would usually pop out as a note in your inventory is because that's the default left click option. But otherwise it's self-explanatory. You can withdraw the item as a note, you can withdraw as many of that item as possible that will fit in your inventory, or you can send it all straight to your bank. But that is going to be all for today's video, and like I said, I'm sure most of you knew at least one of the tips on this list, but my goal is that you learned at least one new thing today. And if you already knew everything on this list, well, I do hope that you enjoyed the video either way. But I just want to thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow.